へえ。面白そう。私わからないから公式サイトの URL を持ってきました。あんまり面白くない。面白くないのかな、わかんない。面白くないのか面白いのかも。見てみないことにはなんともないかな。あ、これ1時間 ?ESD1 時間 ?1 時間喋るか。喋れるか。気合は可愛い。なるほど。なかなか、いやでも普通に面白そう。1時間カラオケでもいい。おかしくない？オケはしないよ。
We're going to read. We've got a $5 donation from Kubji that says, "All hail baguettes."
彼女たちも熱血
We
校
have also got
どうなの？
another $5 donation from Kubji that says, "For Edelgard," with a heart. And we've got another $5 donation that says Japan.
今
And
日
that is
ミサ
also
コ
from Rice.
国
Thank
を
you all for the donations. These will all go directly towards the carbonfund.org foundation. We're
リキ
getting set up with River City Girls shortly, and
ミ
that
ス
will
ズ
be up right away.
おすげえ山田ひばりアボボノイズいろいろいるんだね。へえ。操作感がわかんないからなんと
We
も
have a $2 donation
ないかな。
from Kubji, and that puts France now back as the language for River City Girls. This is going back and forth.
ボスは全部ジャンプ強で踏み続けるゲーム。
We've got a $29 donation from
コンボはあ
Yondu's
るんだ
Poppins,
けど
y'all. That says, shoutouts to all the
道
runners, the
中とか
viewers
で
at
しか
home, the
使
Midwinter
えない感
Spectre
じかな。
staff, and the staff and volunteers at BGMCon. This wouldn't happen without you. Also, shoutouts to Condor, because Condor. Thank you for that donation, Yondu Poppins, y'all. That puts us at $212 dollars raised for the carbonfund.org foundation. So keep those donations
やばい、
rolling in.
現地で
See
なん
if
か
we
言
can
ってる
hit
け
our
ど
goal of
英語がわからない。
$3,250 to break our PB of Midwest Speed Fest 2019. We have got a $10 donation
もしよろし
from
ければ解
Chuck,
説の方
Chuck Juck
い
to
つ
put
でも
the Pokemon Sword and Shield trainer name as Jim
募集
B.
してますので、
Thank you for that donation, Chuck.
突発
Very
でも
much
いいよっていう
appreciated.
方よければお願いします。ただ初見プレイをなんか見てる、初見プレイじゃないや初見でなんかゲームを見てる人になっちゃうから、よければお願いします。 あ、これテーマ曲なんですね。やばい、普段から喋らないから無音になってしまう。まあ深夜だしって、国尾くんなのにガールズってな。まあ外伝書いてあるし、まあ、これが定価分かってない。税込み3190円。意外とするな。スイッチ、PS4、Xbox One、Steam。意外と、公式ではある。どういうこと？どういうことって聞く。どういったことでしょう。ああ、公式ってことっていうことね。公式公認。なるほど。画面が切り替わりましたね。
My name is BahamutX, and we are going to speedrun River City Girls. I'm really excited to show off this game. It's relatively new. It just came out last September, and it's been really fun speedrunning this game. So we have a bid war for which language I'm going to play this game in. Do we have a winner?
PC なんだ。なるほど。
There is French.
It
Beating
is
out Japanese by $1.
By $1. All right. Hey, that's cool. I've heard we got some donations from our international streams. That's awesome. All right, I shall play this in French, and I just make sure that stayed. Yep, cool. All right, so I'm gonna start the timer when I press the button here. So do I do a countdown then, or? All right, cool. All right, I'll be ready in 5, 4, 3, 2,
始まりますね。
go.
はい、グッドラックでーす。ミサコの方が攻撃力が高いらしい。ごめんなさいね、全く翻訳できなくてわからないんで。
But recently, I'd say they're more known for their Shantae games.
おいおいおいおい。
But they've done some other fun games, like if anyone remembers the DuckTales remaster.
投げない、蹴らない、殴らない。
It's a very fun game.
めっちゃやってる。
So this River City Girls. What's fun about this game is it's similar to old game, if people remember, called River City Ransom. I forget the name in Japanese, but it is a reversal of the original one. The original one, you had Kunio and Ricky and their his girlfriend Mama was kidnapped. And this is reversed. We got Kyoko and
先生は端っこでガクガクしてま
their
すね。
boyfriends Kunio and Ricky are kidnapped.
So what's the plan?
So it's a very nice reversal. I like it. That's one reason I got it. It's like, hey, it's cool.
バトルに入るまでが早い。
So this is the first cage fight. So the game locks you in certain screens
今
to
日が
a
送られ
fight
て
where
き
you
た写真を
can
見
all
て、プレイオートリティがさらわれたので助け
throughout
に
the
行こう
run
で
you'll
確
see
か
a
ここから
couple
出
of
てくると
these
ころ。なるほど。
we can skip a couple of them, but
確かになんか今
generally you just
ド
have
ット
to
が
beat these enemies as fast as possible. And, it's all
見た
about
ことある
just
ような
execution
ドットだ
because
ったな。
generally the enemy movement is semi-random. You can manipulate it sometimes, but you just have to like, adapt on the fly.
Yeah, very much so. And there are
なかなかにローディングで
some
殴ってん
streams
の
that
面
we
白い
can
な。
skip, and there's different ways we can skip them, and I'll explain them as we come across them.
Wonder who sent us that text message. Yeah, huh? Check your phone, Kyoko.
And it's behind us here. There's a Sabu statue, and Sabu was the last boss of the original Kunio-kun game. There was a bunch of there's a I call it the Kunio-kun universe, and the very first game was released in the United States and Europe, but it was called Renegade. And because back in the 80s and 90s, when they westernized games, they changed names and even changed graphics and stuff. But in the original game, which was the first Kunio-kun game, here is Mami and Hasabe. Back to explain here. Sabu was the original first boss. He is the leader of Yakuza gang.
お、怖い怖い怖い怖い。
And there's a lot of dialogue in this game. We skip all cutscenes and all dialogue. The only dialogue that plays is the
血破りも殴られる。
Kyoko, which even if you aren't
学
playing
校なのか
as,
怖いな。
Kyoko and Misako, they'll show up on top of the screen. This is a two-player game, so you can't play this game with a friend if you have a co-op.
Some nice RNG here with these cheerleaders that keep flocking.
Yeah, no one likes the cheerleaders.
Oh no, they seem to block a lot. They all block, but cheerleaders seem to block a lot. The most, I should say.
Great plan.
怖い
A little
な、
bit
この
of
学
foreshadowing
校。
that, the puberty room. If you're paying attention to the dialogue, it's interesting dialogue to say the least.
You know how I like accidentally pick someone up there? That is not on purpose. What happens is when the enemy is dazed, you can pick them up and throw
吹っ
them
飛び方
around.
軽いな。
But when you're speed running, you don't want to do that because that's not very efficient. So I try to avoid doing that if I can.
踏みつけ。
Yeah, the button for interact is also the button for most of the combat, like the light move, which makes movement and doing things like that where it's like, I don't want to pick up this enemy, but the game said if you press it at the same time, they'll pick it up.
Wow.
Yeah, exactly. There's a lot of that dual use there where they can get in the way of things.
ちょっと待って、この辺いきなり髪型が古くなるのなんなの。
my best here to group these enemies up together because that is one thing we can do early in the game before we get more abilities is get more groups together or more people together, more damage to do. One thing you'll also notice is that right now there isn't many moves, but we get new moves by leveling and also mostly dojos. And the one I'm taking advantage of some
むっ
is
ちゃ走ってくるやん。
like so. And the thing is one thing you can do to help group them together is if you stomp them on the outside, see how it kind of moves them in a certain direction. That can help group them together just a little bit.
おうおう。
I'm also mentioning this now. So he's destroying these statues. There's what?
何その
25
攻
throughout the
撃
game.
すごっ。
And if you destroy all of them, you get to the secret boss. And that is an incentive at the moment for this run.
手上がるときに
If
ワ
we
ン
do
カウン
meet it, we'll have to
ト。
collect them now.
ちょうど気絶。
So
は
if we do meet it, we'll have to backtrack and get them.
I actually have been trying to get
ああ、
them.
踏みつけで
So that is
調整してる
incentive to like,
感
hey,
じ
I'm
なの
getting
か
all
な。
the statues. So hey, make the incentive and we'll just show the secret boss with the alternate ending, which I like. So get those money, get those
へえ、
donations in.
すげえ。
Some very nice foreshadowing.
はあ、すげえ。
Principle.
かわいそう。かわいそう。
He was very subtle.
Yeah, because right now we're trying to escape the school here because we gotta find the boyfriends and it kind of there's like a pattern of like we go to one place and oh no they might be in crosstown, oh they might be in uptown, and kind of go from there. This is our first boss, Suzu, and like most of the bosses of the game are actually in previous Kunio-kun games.
がたいいな。
And you'll notice here I did a kick. Actually, I messed that up a little bit.
おお、何それ。
And actually, what I was trying to do there was a light kick and then basically a cycle. It's a main cycle is 3 light hits and then a heavy. And if I'd done that right, I would have gotten all of the first bar of health in the first shot or cycle.
Yeah, so the cycles on these bosses, they're mostly predictable. There's a couple of bosses where it's more random than others.
なぜか他校の道が門番をしてるのに殴りま
The
す。
combos are still not kind of difficult to
Ooh.
land, but if you get them.
いや、
Like,
てか
take a
衝
lot of
撃
time.
波出んのなんなの
You'll see
すごすぎ
he's
でしょ。
walking across these bars here. This is Mizuzu does a charge, and then she does that animation where she like flexes. During that animation, you can punch her, and then she like locks her in, and you can finish her off like that.
And that is Mizuzu. She's the was it the school defense force to prevent kids from leaving the school.
怪我の仕方がすごい。
Not doing too great of a job.
ああ、体力バーが1段階ってことは、なんだ ?3 分の1ごとに区切られてたあれか。
So I'm developing like a guide for this game because like I wanted to improve the guide. I'm like this entire section up to the next boss is a lot of menuing.
Oh, that's true, yeah.
So nice to get out of that crappy school. For sure. Wanna go see a
Something
movie?
you'll notice they do
We're looking
sometimes,
for our
especially in the early
boyfriends,
game here.
remember?
お、すげえ。こういう時上でちゃんと喋ってるのかわいい。
If I can't take them down in one cycle, I go to the other side of them because
長いですね。EST が1時間という。
And so if you go to the other side, you can lower that chance of them doing a counterattack on you and just kind of go the cycle.
私のトークは絶対追いつきませ
So
ん。
you go to the other side here.
まあ、
Yeah, they like to as soon as they get up. After you've so like the timing here is like 3 stomps. You get 3 stomps before they get up. Always. Like they'll even wait for you to do the 3rd stomp. But as soon as they get up, they might hit you, and it's basically random. You can block them, but it's easier to go to the other side.
Right on. So next we're gonna come to Godai, and you will see him a lot. He's you can see it's kind of creepy. He was one of, I believe he was an optional boss in River City Ransom, and the Western name was Tex, I believe.
What you need?
あ、お買い物です
We're
ね
gonna。go to these stores and we get to eat these different foods. The first time you eat the food, you get a nice stat boost, but afterwards it's just replenishing stamina.
はいや。
My dojo and fight me. Deadly.
And we got our first ability here called the Nutcracker, and that's going to do a lot of our juggling, which is one of the ways we save time.
More customers.
So he's getting a.
ああ、
He's
移
gonna buy
動速
things
度
for
が
this,
最大
but
に
also
な
you
る
need a
アイ
double
テムを
burger
買いだね。
for the quest with Godai. You also notice that, like I said, mentioned earlier, that the same button for interact is the same button for light attack. You can do 2 things to like
チアガールめっちゃ出張してくる。
like punching before either while you're moving or when you go to enter a door and you're just a little off. You can do it like hold it down after you've punched an enemy. And it like maintains that press, so when you walk over to something to interact, it'll put like,
脚力すごい。
You can also, as you enter a room, you can hold it down, and
いや
as
い
you
や
walk through the room,
なんかもう
it'll maintain that like action and buffer.
なんかもうわからなくなってき
walk
た。
through other doors. Saves a bunch of time. Animation canceling, basically.
So we took out our guys. We got a burger for Godai. We're gonna head back here.
You just did it perfectly right there.
Thank you.
行動ルーラー。
Absolutely.
Sure.
All right,
あれ
we
は
got
絶対違う気がする
$33
ぞ。
from Norimaki SR saying, Yo, Bahamut, good luck on the RCG run. Thanks for running with Best Girl. Take out all the bosses on me. And that hit the goal for all bosses.
Oh wow! Awesome.
Oh,
Woohoo!
awesome.
Thank you so much for the donation.
And then $33 from Chris saying, Hey, BahamutX, this is your coworker turning in for your run. Been fun hearing about your progression in this and other games. Enjoy your run and best of luck.
Thank you so much for the donation, Chris. I think I know which Chris that is. We came across that was Hiroshi,
Sushi.
and his
Oh,
previous
sushi da.
Pokemon games was Kunio's best friend, and it was actually one of the plot points in the original game. He was kidnapped in Renegade.
箱持てるんだ。
All right, so I mentioned about skipping
全く
moves
関係
here.
ない人今殴ったぞ。
And one of them is, this is actually probably, I would say, the hardest one in the game. Basically, I'm going to use a turbo speed juice here. And we run to the next room and go as fast as we
な
can.
んかステータス出てきた、ステ
We're
ータ
going
ス。
to get into a door before it closes.
That must be his house.
It didn't go fast enough there.
That's really hard to get.
It is. It's the hardest one. We call it the Patterson skip because the guy in there, his name is Patterson, and he's currently asleep. And he's a security guard to the mall because we're trying to get inside the mall. And so as we call it, because that's his house. And we're going to go pick up the key without him waking up because there's a bunch of toys
ああ、
in
そういう
the
こ
ground.
と。
So I get through some guys here.
飛ぶね
Majority of the combat from now on will be this juggling motion. This is currently the best way of dealing with enemies, is where you can stun lock them so that they can't hit you and you can do the most amount of damage.
Also kind of noticed that like right now, when I do juggling, I sometimes have to put a little bit of a run in because you're so slow that you can't constantly juggle right now.
Yeah,
The keys.
Get out of my house!
I knew I was going to do that. It's like I just basically jump across the...
Get out of my house!
if I have to, I'll do the backup strat. I basically am trying to jump across these toys here.
got it.
There we go!
There you go.
おお
First try.
And that's, I will say, like...
もう
it's
鍵さえ
really
取れ
hard
ば
to
も
get
う
that
用は
down,
ないのね
even
な
just
るほど
practicing. I mean, I've been doing it for a while, but I've had trouble sometimes. And actually, I'm going to say something here. I've been doing speedruns for a little while, but I've mostly been doing a game called Final Fantasy IV Free Enterprise. It's a randomizer. I love this game, yes. And I thought, like, if I'm going to speedrun a vanilla game, it's going to be like Final Fantasy IV or some RPG. No, it's a genre that I generally am not very good at, and it's beat-em-up games. And the reason why I got into this was, like, River City Ransom on the NES was a game I loved as a kid. I wasn't very good. I never beat it. And when I heard about this game, I'm like, it's time to get good at a beat-em-up game. So I picked it up, and it took a while to like not be bad at it. But once I got kind of like decent, I'm like, let's speedrun this, and that's how I got here. So now, especially if since we made the incentive, I should remember all the statues. But if I go past one, let me know.
Will do.
And a couple more turbo juices here because we're gonna use one, keep one for later.
Nice one. Okay. Drop
So
by
now we got the
anytime.
got the key to get inside the mall.
早いな
We got the keys.
Hello, Hiroshi.
See?
Nice.
I got a turbo juice. There's, you know how like I accidentally picked up a bench there, and that's because I'm just gonna. Well, I'm gonna say it a little bit later because I got a little trick here. I'm gonna explain first.
Oh, hey, Hiro.
In that last room, he skipped the cage fight just by walking on the bottom of the screen.
Yep, that's like one of the easiest ones to do.
I love that one. It's like, well, this works.
Oh, my. With pleasure.
And now this is another easy one. We have to go back to the left, and there's this locked room. One of the easiest way to skip a locked room is if you save and reset, it'll put you at the beginning of that room. And since we need to go left, we just go back to left.
ま
It's one of the
全く
many
言
save
語
and
がわから
resets
ない
I'm doing.
あセーブロードかな
Yes, the cage fight in the middle of the room. Just skip it entirely.
Yep. Okay, good.
相変わ
A
ら
couple
ずロ
times
ー
I
ド画
like
面で
I've
アニメーションが殴りまくってんの面
hard
白い
enough,
な
and so I've actually been caught there a couple times. And I think I'll say
かわいそう
yep. So there was a recent patch about a month and a half ago that
あ強制
Play4
戦
did,
闘を
and
回
there
避
were
した
some
ん
good
ですね
things it did, and there's a couple things that not so
なる
good, at least for
ほど
speedrunning. And probably my biggest grief is that they changed how you go inside doors. Used to be able to just touch the door and you go inside. Now there's like a minute and a half, not a minute, sorry. Feels like a minute. About a second and a half wait before you can get inside the door. You have to press and hold the door. And for casual play, I totally get it because the same button to do a light attack is the same button to talk to NPCs and go to doors. But because of that, when you're speedrunning, it adds a little bit of time each time you talk to most of the PCs and also go through the doors. Which that in itself is a little extra time, but also if you're trying to open a door, you can also get attacked by enemies while trying to open the door. And there are a few places in the game where that is very likely. If you're not careful. One more thing I'll say about these stores is that you'll notice that I'm not getting all of the food. And that's because there are many different stats. There's strength, stamina, agility, and so on.
普通に
And
面
we
白そう
mostly just care about strength and
見てるだけでも普通に面
agility.
白い
And the other ones we don't care about
すみ
so
ません
much.
入れません立ち入り禁
So
止
that
工
takes a
事
little
中
bit of time.
My name's not.
It's time to take on Yabada, aka Magic Boy.
ヒーローがすごい数に行くと人生なんかムービー入った
Lady.
Ladies.
Ladies? So Yamada, especially for those who are our Japanese viewers, is the they can correct me if I'm wrong.
Yamada.
Is the last boss from the original River City Ransom.
グリーンバッ
Is
ク
Yamada. So
ドルザ
let's see
ス
him. Whoop.
っていう
Oh, jeez. Come on. No running. There we go. So basic cycle here is knock him in the air a bunch of times, and then when he goes to the
Yeah,
ground, he's
no,
going to teleport behind you and try to Hadouken on you.
わかんね
And as long as you're on him, you basically you want
え
to
離さないので殴ります
and see if I can make him skip the. Yep, there we
Okay.
go.
Nice.
Yeah,
第
that's,
一段階
that's
終
kind
わ
of a
り
trick that I'm not
第二段
consistent
階
at. Basically, if I had let him, he would have summoned some items that they can hit you.
なか
And
な
if
か
you
に
do
パ
it
ターン
time
は
it well enough,
分かりやすいっ
you
て
can
やつ
prevent that from summoning. And there's another one
パターン
in
に
the
入れ
next
てんのか
phase that you can also prevent if you do it well.
肉体言
Just,
語
saves a little time, saves a little energy. If it happens, it'll be. Let's see if I can get it to stop. Nope, you missed it. That one. See the little laser in the ground. And the thing is, if you let it happen, or actually, if you let it happen right away, it doesn't do that much damage. But if you let it chase you around, it does a lot more damage. So you just, if you can't avoid it, just take the hit and just move on.
Nice.
That's Yamada.
おーなるほど
Me playing casually, this is by far my least favorite boss.
Least favorite? Oh, for
Yeah.
casually? It can be frustrating. Like he counters, somewhat, if you're not aggressive enough.
Well, what you don't realize is that you can just walk behind him and punch him in the back and
Oh.
avoid that Hadouken attack.
Yeah.
It's like
Oh, yeah.
you just don't know. You can't block it like with the block. So
So now we're gonna do a speed off to the left here. And did I get the statue inside the mall? I don't think I did. We're gonna go inside there quick.
did you?
Oops. We got some accessories here. And let's go check here. It's
早いな
I
ぁ
think I did.
It's on the left. No. Okay. Yeah.
There we go.
Nice.
シューティングゲーム同コンボ中に割り込みしてくるとそう音ゲーが好きなら楽しめる
But I
か
do
もし
know
れ
there's
ない
one on top of here.
コンボ中に割り込
And
みしてくる
also
ボ
I
ス
know there's a point where there's 13 statues. And that's
すんごい
after, the
詳
next
細だ
boss,
な
so that'll help. And we're gonna get a couple more abilities here. We're gonna flip, which is gonna start doing more damage here.
早い早い
Oh
早い
yes,
早い
that is, if you recognize, that is Billy and Jimmy Lee from Double Dragon. One of the many Double Dragon references in this game.
Is his brother in the other dojo?
He is, yes.
That's what I thought.
Yep. As you see, we picked up a couple more turbo juices. And if we had, if we're doing a regular game, I would have picked up 3. But there's later in the game where I've really used 1, but because we got some statues to get, it's not really efficient to get another turbo juice.
And of course, Turbo Deuce moves you faster, which is great for a speedrun.
Oh, exactly. Yep. But when you gotta walk around a bunch of different places, it kind of defeats the purpose of this. The turbo juice.
あれおかしくない僕箱おかしくない
Box out of the way. We do that a lot because just like a lot of things, just like like the light punch, picking up enemies. The same button is to pick up
確かに
items.
絶妙に
and we
沈
want
んでるの
this
が
fun and casual play, but doing speedruns, no, we want to avoid that.
You can't stun lock an enemy if you're holding a box.
Exactly.
And, like, that there too.
Here's a nice little spin.
This is Uptown, huh?
Ah, messed that up. I went a little too far. No, I don't want to do that.
See?
Just gonna try again.
Pretty
Yep.
fancy.
Go for it. So you can skip this cage fight. It's kind of precise. So we're gonna give it another go.
男子学生と女子学生が当たるダメージが増える相手に
Do enough time to kind of get a
Oh.
little past that. Basically, I just get down to the
なるほど
Come on. That's actually I'm usually good at this one. We got this. Next time.
これはあれかな強水戦闘を飛ばそうとしてセーブアントリセットを繰り返して
There we go. That should do it.
Nice.
おー
And I'm gonna get kicked in the face. I hope I don't get. I've been kicked into the room before.
I think you're fine. Oh, nice, nice.
Because I've been kicked back into the room. This is another one we can skip. It's
Yeah.
basically go behind her, but because I'm going to do the all bosses run, I have to go in a room up there. There's an arcade, and unfortunately, coming out of the arcade, makes this unavoidable. But this is actually harder than the one before.
Oh yeah.
I can't get it consistently yet.
Yeah, he was working. One of the speedrunners, Jotun, he's working on trying to figure out why this one works. Sometimes that vending machine has a hitbox, and sometimes it doesn't. If it doesn't,
Really?
If it has a
治
hitbox,
安
it,
悪いな
helps you
ここ
get- and then you can helps you skip the run, this cage fight faster. But haven't been able to figure out exactly what's going on here.
Yeah, Jolton is one of I'd say somewhat newer to our community, but
たまたま以前町の方で国を見たことがあるというからやってきた
He's actually, I
そう
think
こ
he
いつの
has
武闘
is he
派
the second best time?
Second
本
place.
当だよね
And
も
we're
ちろん
gonna
平和
get the
的に
statue
行こう
here.
ぜ
If I can jump on top here. There we
いや
go.
ゲー
There's
セン
that statue
ゲ
option.
ーなんか持って
Actually,
る
reset. Puts us in the beginning of the room. Which you've kind of noticed already. For the most part, if you mess up a skip, you can almost always save and reset and try again. It also helps a lot when you want to get a statue, run back out, which we'll be doing a few more times too.
Normally you don't do that room, but we're doing. We got the all bosses and the secret boss, so we're gonna go in there and get that.
ああなるほど
Get. Ooh, congrats. Continue. 5, 4, 3.
And you notice there we ate some Famicom food. And I do
ヤ
have
クザが追いかけてく
There we go. We're gonna eat in a. Whoop, not that one. Can't afford that one. Eat an alarm clock, which really helps with next boss.
Yeah, I should mention. You can buy a bunch of food in the game and drinks as well. Regardless of what you buy, it makes the eating sound.
Exactly. It's like, okay, I'm eating a
Cara
sure.
cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, the game cartridges. So do what you will with that information.
どこ
Oh,
あ
good to see Hops and Anime again. And then I remember there was actually another statue at back of level. We'll do it before we head down the elevator shaft. Not the shaft, but down the stairs.
チアガールどんだけ出張してくる
No, it's yeah.
Maybe we can trade him something. Like a knuckle sandwich. How you're talking.
I blocked, but it came from the other side. So, yeah,
Cheerleaders.
無限に落ちる床がある店
I know our friend Jolton doesn't like them. And also, you kind of
この
notice that
辺
when
の
they're
ことが
begging,
ヒバリが
if you're
詳
playing
しいと
casually,
聞い
you
た
can
から
feed them and they'll
話
help
を
you
聞こう
later
と
in
した
the
ら
game.
無視された
But it
あ方法を探そう
there's another much use for
なるほ
them.
ど
But what's also kind of annoying is that the hitbox becomes smaller. It's hard to hit them when they're begging.
なかなかねこれインパクト強いなこのゲーム本当に
Because generally you just want to be juggling the enemies. It's much faster. And also the point at which they start begging is random. Or like, I mean, you have to do some damage, right? But like, it's inconsistent, so it's usually faster to just like beat them up and finish it off the rest of their health.
Looks pretty
Yep.
empty.
なかなかに収集要
Now
素
we
を
got a
集め
bunch
きるのが
of
大変
levels to
そう
get through here.
Can we take the elevator?
So if you got any, is there any donations?
Oh, wait, it's broken. I'm not
高価なものをプレゼントする必要があるという話
Yeah, we
聞い
got
た
some time here. to
や
go
だ
through
な
a
ぁ
bunch of levels.
とりあえず話だけでも聞いてよって思う
Won't pick them up.
持ち上げられんのこれ痛い痛い
No. There we go.
No new donations yet,
That's all right.
but just a reminder that all of your donations go to support Carbon Fund.
Carbon Fund's great. They're doing it's for a great cause, and we're here to raise money for charity. So it's a good all around
Quit
show.
whining and keep fighting.
Now let's see if these boys here, they like to pick up the there.
12, 3.
It's not very fun when they pick up the baseball bat because just how I mentioned. Let's see if I can avoid picking up the baseball bat.
Nice.
And I did. Woohoo! The backflip can help you avoid doing that. It's the because it's the A button.
なるほど
Yes. Or SNES. I keep thinking on SNES because there's the different.
なんかすっごいキャラ濃いの出てきたなんだこれなんだこれなんだこれ
Super Nintendo ABXY.
We talk about the controls a little bit. You're playing with the PlayStation controller, right?
I play with the PlayStation 3 controller. Yeah, it's connected to the PC. There's
トラ
an
だ。
emulator you
トラ
can
になるんだ。
connect to play through the PC. And I grew up on this style of controller, and I like this size. You saw that room there. There's a bunch of healing items, but because we're speed running, you just get by it. Even for low health, nah, don't need all
良
healing
い子の
items.
味方のはずのタイガーがつく。
Hitting each other. But everywhere we
Yeah,
go,
we take damage. You take some damage, but you heal every time fully.
マジ
you
で
level up,
警棒で
and
ガチで
every time
殴
you
りで
buy
来ないで。
a health item, it like heals you. So
Exactly. So we kind of rely on that. Usually, as long as you're careful, you usually don't get in trouble with health. Come on, there's the next group.
I do want to mention, I was playing this game casually with the Xbox controller, but in theory, optimally, the game you can play with the keyboard, but the keyboard controls are interesting to say the least.
I haven't played keyboard, but I know some of the top.
悪いことだとかってるから正しい。
Yeah. It's just because like the movement's a
Like,
little easier.
反論できないの結構きついな。確かにって言えるから。
Since you can't remap any of the controls, you get kind of stuck with what they got. And
銃撃きそう。
yeah, I don't want to like start talking about that. They're just interesting.
Gotcha.
お
See, hitbox. I will say one nice little piece of
お
information.
お、3種類出てくる。
One of the, I think he's, if the internet's correct, the assistant director, and I'm blanking on his name, was actually also the director of River City Underground, which was a fan game that came out a few years ago. I just found that out recently, like, oh, cool. Yeah,
持ち上げてスライドするの面白すぎないさすがに。
That's very cool. Now we're down here. Got a statue over here. Get our fake gold cat statue from Skeletor. Exactly, yeah. Yeah, exactly.
なんか別のゲームに出てきそう。めっちゃにえへへ
Yeah,
言っ
it
てた
does
よ。
sound like him a lot, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's technically not Skeletor, but
There we go.
金の招き猫は高くて買えなかったから、
and more backstory. That we're
隣にあった
Yep.
金メッキ。金
Basically,
メッ
it's
キ
kind of how Kyoko
同社製
and
の
Sango met.
ダブルドラゴンネオンに登場するスカルマゲドンさん。いえ、え、
Oh, that's the game I need
Isn't
to
he
play.
from? I'm pretty sure he's from Double Dragon.
Oh, the
縦書きになってそうだな、確かに。
But I'm just gonna refer to him as Skeletor because.
There's a two-layer piece.
また落ちそう。あってなりそうだよ。あばあば。
And I believe there's a, excuse me, there's a skip you can do, I believe, if you knock the first
Oh,
skip
psycho.
down, it'll prevent the second one from coming. I think I've seen it happen, but I haven't tried to work on it myself.
Yo, lady!
ここはどこなんだこれ。
Here's a gold
どういうところ
Yes, I want to explain it afterwards because that's not a hard one, but you gotta be careful about it. And this is a nice little side effect that happens sometimes when you
あ、
skip
服屋さんなの
the timing happens, the lock is still there, but it's
ああ、よく見たら、こういうところ見たら、確かに。
It's just for this one. The Hibari skip. So
なんか弾幕ゲー始まってない気のせい
Fight happens, and you can skip it like you just showed.
ああ
perfectly.
だからシューティングゲームか。いた。シューティング要素どっかにあったっけなと思ったけど、ここか。これで、普通の敵キャラも出てくるのやだな。
Hibari has like her attacking and then her like vulnerable phase where she throws the needle around. The needle needs to rebound twice.
当
to
然の
hit
権
her,
利は
like,
ただ
specific part of the field that has it bound once and bound twice.
なぎったぜ。
If you're playing casually, it doesn't lock on until it like right before it throws. So like if you're normally when you like these things happen, like as soon as you see it stop moving, like you're like okay cool, it's gonna go that way. But like if you keep moving, it'll
一
follow
発
you.
弾食らったらゴリッと減る。
And if it hits you, then you don't get like
ああ、そうなんだ。
do damage to
な
Hibari.
かなかずるいやつ。
Yeah,
Ah.
and you can also jump across the walls and just punch
Yep.
punch her, and it two punches and it knocks her down.
There we go. I'm having a little trouble with the controls a little bit. You probably see like I'm trying to do a hit and I'm not connecting a little bit. So in between these phases, she sends out these needles and thread, and the thread explodes afterwards. And if you're familiar with bullet hell games, she kind of looks like a bullet hell boss, and she's sending out those
回転だっ
those things.
てはならなそうだね。確かに。おお、ちょっと動いてきた、第2段階では。そう。なかなかに痛い。
These girls that get spawned here, they go down in 3 hits, but they're just annoying. If they hit you, you kind of miss your opportunity.
さっき何を反射したのかなと思ったっ
They
け
can
あ
be
れ。
annoying when you knock her down.
あの変な
but
や
they're
つ
still
か。
around.
変なやつか。
And what you want to do is, if I was able to hit her from above, I have a greater chance of
2
getting
回攻撃を当てるか針を反
stage
射。
in
あ
one
あ、
cycle.
なるほど。てかなんかアルティーチャがすごいことになってるんだけど。
And she can be annoying sometimes, and usually better at this boss than this.
Yeah, sometimes the mechanics in the game, they're a little more finicky than usual. This boss in particular is on a 2D plane.
Yeah.
Most of the game is like 2D, 3D. You can only move left and right up,
Right.
instead of like back and forth. So all your attacks will hit, except when they don't.
And actually, they ran into the thread there, so.
なかなかに
a little rough here.
体力やばそう。あれ怖い、本当に。
Let's see if I can avoid this.
おーおーおーおーおー
This is hard. No, this is- let's try here.
うん。いいね。
Oh,
レベル上がった。
perfect. Okay.
ここでレベル上がった。
And
Oh.
healed the full HP. So we were a little worried.
Me too.
But
体力回復
it's all
して、
good.
なんとか。
Oh, nice. There we are.
Oh man, that's I didn't realize this boss is tough on a marathon. I will blame RNG. That's
じゃあ、レベルアップのタイミング
Sounds good.
良かったような気がする。あ、意外と可愛いな。
Yeah.
意外と可愛いなっていうのもおかしいけど
I
ね。
like the boss, but it's
Oh
just
yeah, it's now we got a couple more statues here.
ああ。
This is another one. If we were playing this casually, this is the secret, the tunnel. But we just want the statue and we're gonna get out of here. Almost got the statue here. There we go.
同感なのか。
I guess I'll touch on the death mechanic in this game a little bit. It's pretty brutal casually. So if you die, what happens is you just lose a good portion of your money. I can't remember the exact percentage, but I mean it'll just reset the boss fighter or the room that you are on, and then like take a chunk off of your money total.
Yep.
バスに乗ります。
For speedrunning, it doesn't matter too much. It'll set you behind, but technically we can beat all the bosses without buying.
なるほど。シュッシュ要素か
Alright, here comes a tricky statue. I'm gonna concentrate here.
誰だろう。てか、なんか新しいの出てきた。だって出てきた。
Hey, we got it! I mentioned Godai. He's in that little trash there. If I had set off that side quest, that would potentially add on
okay,
several
can
quests to the run. Because he
毒
adds
ガ
on
ス
several
み
locked
たいなのを
rooms.
投げてる。
So I'm glad I got that.
That's nice work.
バリモクに私はことなんか知らない。
it
この
things like
辺りで
that.
人さらいをしている
We
楽
showed it
に
in
言われる
Uptown
か
where
そっ
there's
ちへ
like
行
a
ってみ
little
ろと言
pixel
われる。
basically to walk on.
なるほど。
There's a lot of precise things in this run, in this game in general.
別の方向から目的地に侵入。
So stuff like that's really impressive. Cool.
あ、敵も
Run. There we go.
はしご登ってくるんだ。 お買い物。
Okay. Understood. What else?
Hey, does that say baguettes?
Yes.
It does. Hey, it's a good thing that French won. I wouldn't get that reference, huh?
ああ、現地お
Good
昼
job, French
次
Restreamer.
なんだ。
Walk to the wall.
確かにパワーワードだった。痛い。
Just gotta activate the dialogue there.
飛び方が痛い。
Everywhere.
It's a very dirty city, and it's downtown. So we got this guy. He like forgot his gear, lost his keys. They said, "Oh, it's down in the trash."
We're going to
And
climb
we gotta
inside
catch some
the
trash
trash
zombies.
Seems
な
that
んかやべえのが出
Zombies.
てきたけど。
like smelly zombies surrounded by
Oh,
Yeah.
totally, it does. I mean, you got a magic boy. He does
More
magic, so
Still
zombies
early.
has got to be in this universe, right?
I can't believe
That's
we're
how it
fighting
works.
zombies
Oh,
in a
definitely.
trash compactor. Wanna give up? From my Ricky?
あ
This one's pretty simple. It's just like you just punch them once and then they go away. It's just about clearing it.
Yep. And it's
あ。と
pretty
りあえず
easy.
鍵を持ってこい。
And, I'm gonna say something. I'm gonna wait a little bit because I don't want to jinx myself.
よく見たらなんか横迫ってきてたわ。
I believe this is the last one.
It should be.
ああ、よくゾンビっているもんなのか。
One avoid
Just
one way to
gotta
avoid
know.
talk. It was like I have yet to lose there, but it's a matter of but it's like it's gonna happen someday. I just didn't want to jinx myself.
Here.
Yeah, a little difficult to lose there.
It is.
But yeah, I mean anything can happen. Right?
Yeah, in a marathon, like it shouldn't, but marathon you shouldn't
Ramen.
jinx yourself, no matter what it is.
Come
ダ
on.
ウンタウンへ。
So next boss here, if you're a Double Dragon fan, you should recognize him, and he was also you heard him at the beginning of the game a little bit.
自転車の会かい。なんか、指また入った。
It's none other than a Bobo from a Double Dragon.
あぼうぼ Ooh.
Yeah, spin move. You can go from any direction. It's not whatever he's facing. Like it'll just fly towards you, like that. But he just bashes him with relative ease.
It's time to Hulk out.
楽しいスーパーアーマー超火力ボス。ダブルドラゴンに出てくる敵が友情出演。
Nice.
Yeah, if you time it well enough, you can actually get all of his
Ooh.
first cycle help in one shot. In one cycle, I should say. That should do it. I'm 11 is gonna want to
この斜め移動怖っ。
because we have some nice health. That's interesting. Went like one into the other. I'm not sure if I've seen that before.
言われてすぐ戻る地面すげえ。すごいわ、確かに。わざ
Just
と比
gonna
べ
make it
たら
look
しく。
easy, no big deal.
I will say I was talking about the patch. I believe there was one change. Bobo used to be a lot harder. At least you couldn't juggle him. Yeah, but hardly at all in the previous patch. So they made Bobo easier.
It's very kind of them.
やっぱ弾幕を飛ばしてくるのは
Although I
強か
think
った
casually
な。
though, he's probably still not. He's still probably difficult casually. But play this enough times, you kind of know their patterns. You know what to do and stuff. So
レベルアップ。
Something the game doesn't like outwardly explain to you, which helps you casually if you're playing this game, is you can just buy health items and then just use them during boss fights, and just beat the boss fight no problems. Like, oh, I took damage. Okay, and they heal to full HP.
and that's another locked room. You just run across and you miss it.
なるほど。
And this locked
先
room
へ出てくる人
is-
みんなクリオたちのこと知らないじゃん。
But it's locked and there's a ceiling, and it's there, but it's consistent. It feels inconsistent, but I feel like it's gotten a little bit better.
みんな倒されそうだぞ。
So it's a little difficult not to juggle in this room, so it's kind of chaotic.
So like the Terminator.
At least when I come across,
Danka.
there was, if I missed some locked rooms, I would come across.
かなり。
Technically, it's called. I think the game refers to it as a cyborg.
Okay, but
そしてあ
It's
と2
basically
人。
Arnold Schwarzenegger.
It's such-
Tournament.
yeah, if you listen to it, you'll hear his grunts.
Here, hold on. Yeah.
And that guy with the hammer, he hits hard.
あ、サイボーグなんだ。
And something I haven't. Oh, by the way, the woman in the center, also another Double Dragon reference. She's Linda from Double Dragon.
Also not cooperating very well.
Like I said, this room's a little difficult. There we go.
命乞いは許さない。
Alright, here's another skip you can do. Another cage fight. You sort of jump on that and
ああ、
across, and
敵硬くなってくるんだ、やっぱり。もう終盤中盤も
it's pretty
う
precise.
終盤か、ボスアートみたいな。
Although I'd say it's easier than any of the
なかなか
upcuts.
に長いな、このゲーム。
You did it good. No
Thank you.
problem.
And I think we're good on statues. That's 21. I think we're good.
何今の
Yep, I think we're good.
いったー
So
Apart
I had the
chintai.
statues. I think we have
新しい技を覚えました。
Here we're actually going to do a save reset, but it's not because of a locked room. It's because there's a long dialogue, and if we don't save and reset, you have to wait for the dialogue to finish.
Save
in order for the,
reset.
door to open. So save a little bit of time, but for the most part, you can truncate dialogue, but there is one exception which will come across here soon.
魚市場。あ、めっちゃ日本語が並んでる。
Yep.
There's
会場
a
に来る
cage
け
fight
ど
in the
当
middle
然
of
チ
that
ケット
room.
がないから追い返される。
Yep,
チケットを探す。
it doesn't happen yet. It'll be when I come back. But
大丈夫
I
ファンクラブ認証とかない
to practice. I like upcutting.
?いや、こういうコンボを見てるとマジで気持ちいいな。
I had that time so well. I was
すっ
gonna do
げえ
nice
割り込んで
back
吹っ飛ばされたな。
Oh no! I was looking at my health.
あーっと。ゲームオーバー。
Oh, okay. Well, it just resets the room here.
Mm-hmm.
If I guess if I hadn't realized what my health was, I would have picked up some food, but that's all right. We didn't lose too much time.
Classic marathon luck, you know.
Oh yeah, no kidding. That's what I hear. And this is my first ever marathon.
You're doing a good job.
Thank you. Except for that Hibari fight. Nope, we don't want tear gas. Nope, nope, nope.
いや。
But definitely as the game gets towards the end here,
あ、所持金半分になるん
they'll
だ。
hit a lot harder.
Yeah, the
やっぱそういうペナルティはあるよ
we've
ね。
analyzed the like people have pulled out the code. It,
足元の敵が倒れ
it's
ている
based
と
on
普通の攻撃が出せ
the
ずに今みたいに
acts,
めちゃ
which
めちゃ。
are
あ
after
あ
you beat each boss. And after you beat each boss, each enemy gets extra health, extra damage.
頼むから同じ場所では倒れないでくれっていう
Previous mobs?
あれかな。
Yeah, yeah. So,
Okay. Oh,
you get your charger?
I do. It's,
ちょっとバッテリー駆動やめてくださいよ。
it is. Should be. I put my. Oh, it's over there. It's over there. So sorry, you guys. Yes, the charger's in there.
ちょっと AC 電源から取って。
I'll hold this just in case.
Thank you. That's the other side. Oops.
びっくりだわ。めっちゃ電源させてる。
Now, I'll take this time to mention. So this game ends up being really speedrunner friendly because you can save. You can recreate save files. Like we have access to the save file folder,
はい。
which lets us.
多分
You can copy saves.
バッテリー駆動になって
from
一
people.
一
You can also make your own
止まっ
saves
てるから
and
大丈夫なんじゃない
the
か
same
な。
boss fights over and over.
大丈夫なのか
Also try and set
わからん。
runes.
まあイベントだし。
which just allows us to. Here's a upcoming. There's a skip where we can walk around this fish room, right?
そうだね、イベントの
It can soft lock the game if you do it
生配
incorrectly.
信のならではの
I'll definitely explain that when we get there.
トラブルって感じでする。
But we have a backup save, which lets us.
いや、まさかバッテリーローズ出るとは思わなかったけど。
Well, it's actually a previous one that I took
Yeah.
the save of.
Yeah.
There we go.
まあ
We're
そ
on
りゃ
track for our statues. And a little bit,
さすがにね。
we talked to the concierge. Basically, he has tickets, but he won't, give them out unless we prove that her Noise is best
Ricky
fans.
and Cooney. What were the 3 questions again?
なんか違うイベントをなんか想起してる方がいらっしゃいますが、ちょっと違いますよ。
Look, it's Cowrie.
And made the jump.
Nice.
All right.
大トロって文字を見たら大トロ食いたくなるじゃ
That's,
ん。
that's a locked room, and the thing is, because you had just mentioned,
チケット1枚余ってるから、その歌手についてのクイズに答えられるぐらいのファンになったりする。
got it. Whew. That's gotten a little tricky because of the recent patch.
Starving.
Yeah, just a little bit movement to the left there, and it locks the game.
Yeah, once again, you're forced to do the fight. But if I had
神々しい
saved
んだけど。
reset during the dialogue, it would have soft locked the game.
転売ヤーかもしれんぞ。タイムリー。
Hey, mine too. Question answered. Come on.
There we go. Now we got one more piece of information we need. It's like no, I have to reset. There we go.
The game has a lot of
ああ、
forced,
戦闘回避がで
menu
きたみたい。
options
お
and
お。
menuing,
すごい。
where the game pops up something. It's like, here, learn about this mechanic, and then it forces you, like that one, it'll force you to open it, and then it closes it. It's like you don't even get the option of having the menu already open.
Off to the right, jump down, avoid the room.
Nice.
There we go. Now I'm gonna use a
早い早い早い。相変わらず早い。その飲み物。
because I would have used one earlier, but I decided not to.
You can easily jump over the trash compactor.
Yeah, I just wanted to make some room for my inventory room.
May I help you?
So now we've proved we're Noise's favorite fans, and we got our VIP tickets to see if the boyfriends are at the concert.
Yeah, and we have to keep going that same way every time, especially like, even in this room, because they're still there. The cage fights still exist, so we just have to avoid it every single time. Nice.
We got VIP.
That is a Boromov from Double Dragon. Double Dragon 2, I believe.
警備員
So
がいか
we're
つ。
going to actually change one of our accessories here. We're going to get some more attack.
てかそこ細すぎない？
some agility because we're plenty fast now. We can get some more power. So Noise
Movie
here, I believe
hyper.
she's one of the new characters for the Kunio-kun.
Noise.
And she's actually connected to Kyoko. You'll see if you watch that cutscene. When Moises joined the school, she was very shy, and Kyoko made friends with her. But then she felt abandoned
速度低下、攻撃
when
力アップ、
Kyoko
装
left
備
her,
に
but
変
that's only because Kyoko got suspended
Oh.
for stealing basketball moves.
なんか音ゲー始まったな。
So Moises is like, I feel betrayed. I'm going to become a rock star now. So,
You ever play with a Guitar Hero?
yep, I like to call it the reverse Guitar Hero. They're trying to avoid the notes.
痛いな、結
A little
構
more。careful,
痛くなかった
I
わ
think, as。well. It's not
ダメージの食らい方超痛そうなのに、ダメージそこまでじゃないんだ
It's
けど。
easy to jump over 1 and 2. It's a little harder to jump over 3.
No,
If you
what
don't
the-
put yourself or tap yourself on the left or right, you can avoid them.
どっちかって言ったらギタドラじゃないの俺わかんないんだけど、ギタドラとかやったことないから。京子がノイズが幼馴染であることをいきなり思い出して、昔陰キャだったのをバラしたのもあって怒って襲っ
You
て
can
く
get
る。
there's a couple
なるほど。
of tricks and tries you can do optimally. There's been rumorings that you can one cycle noise.
Yeah.
I want to see that.
ああ、早い早い、テンポアッ
There's
プ
a
した
couple。things you can do optimally.
ソフランは NG で
As
す。
we throw it around a little more, some of these things will be easier.
Most definitely. I've definitely seen some different techniques, and one of them I've tried, I haven't been able to get down, is there's another.
危ない、これ見づらくない？いた。
And what that does is it increases the amount of time that you're invulnerable.
なかなかに避けづらくないこれ。
Might have been a Japanese runner who actually used that. Basically, you time it so that you hit almost the last note.
ギターとドラマにやったことないから余計わかんないんだけど。
ああ。
痛そうなの食らってないよね、意外と。今まで流れてたステージ曲と歌声もこの人。へー。長い攻撃。長いな。てか、ファン邪魔。なかなかに邪魔、ファン。まあ確かに理不尽。
Your third phase will be a little faster though.
You can see all the things happening on screen. It kind of makes this a little difficult to track.
Yeah, those fans are a bit annoying. They do a little bit of damage. It's hard to hit them.
待って、観客も吹っ飛んでくるの面白くない？
fans there. Alright.
いやー、早いな。テンポが早いな。そう思うじゃん。
Soundtrack is banging.
I love the soundtrack.
ギター投げてる間も敵で買ったら痛いな。
Also, I do love the art in this game. You can look to the top left side of the screen. You'll see a dude having the time of his life. He's got nice big eyes. That's a good one. Little touches like that.
うわ、なんかすごい動きしてる。
There we go.
Nice.
Faster third phase.
Yeah.
I get the third phase is a lot easier.
早い方がジャンプしやすい気がする。確かにね。
Basically, Dre's is always like, oh, your boyfriends are here, but if they're kidnapped, they're probably the sad
強キャラ特有の瞬間いいよ。 確かに。
It becomes a recurring
もうなん
theme
か
where
iPod もらった iPod。
you get one piece of information, you go to the next boss, and they're
間
like,
違え
no,
た。
they're not here.
IP 丸 D かな。
And we're going to be a little marathon safe. We're going to
ノ
get
イズも当然国男たちのことなんて知りません。
Wicked. Sweet.
That should be
See you
good.
around.
I think there's maybe 4 or 5. That should be enough.
じゃあここからラスボス戦
That
に行くのかな。
should be plenty.
ラザニア界で痛いな。
If you time it well, you can just jump on top of that there. Now we're going to go on to the last section here, which is
ああ、
Sabu
回復ア
Tower.
イテムを買いだめ。なるほど。
Come on, let's get to that tower and find our boyfriends. Oh look, it's those girls.
コースター事故は
Yep, those
いやま
girls
ずいですよ。
again.
痛いで済むのおかしいね。おかしいね、確かにね。
This game is very aggressive.
おかしいね。
There's a comment when you're climbing the tower. Kyoko's like, "Why is everyone in our town so violent?"
Yeah.
And Misaka's like, "I don't know what you mean."
Yeah, it's normalness.
いや、この吹っ飛ばすの気持ちいい
Yeah,
な。
people fight each other. What's so off
生
about
ける
that?
だけで気持ちいい。
Is that
命乞いは許
boss
され。
again?
Yeah, don't think about it too much. I feel bad for some of the NPCs, like when that noise quest. Some NPCs where you're like, they're trying to have a conversation with you, and you're like, no. Like, not even if you're just skipping the conversation, like in the conversation, written in the dialogue. It's a little harsh.
Yeah, there's a nice easy skip.
Recipe's lying
Up
right
on top
beside
here
her.
and off to the right.
But obviously, those
Skips another cage fight.
Yep.
Sako, my knuckles are hurting. Yeah, so are my knees. Where do you think
僕も
Notice
命
I'm
乞い。
kind of jumping into the air. It's because there is a statue up there.
in his penthouse.
ああ、なるほど。ヤクザってそういうことだったのか。
See it, but I don't want to wait till then. I just get it from down here. Actually, I've been playing that. You know how to do the big punch there? That is also not intentional. It does a little more
それ
damage.
突っ込まない
but
で
there's
いた
a
の
big,
に
big
殴り込み。
fireball while you come back from it.
the 7 moves you unlock
ちなみに
naturally.
私、龍が如くってやったことないんですよ
moves
ね。
that you can buy in the dojo. The haymaker,
意外と
which
やっ
is
た
the
こと
one
なかっ
that
た
he's
りする。
talking about. Not something that we use in the
使って
Right.
and if you hit it accidentally, it's like, you know, it just loses.
結局
Yeah. But you can get hit while you're coming back from it though, so that's
Yeah.
why we try not to use it though.
勝ち込みしちゃうからな。
For the stun locks on the enemies.
Oh, it's because they were dead already. Alright.
ああ、確か、そんなことは聞いたことがあるような気が。
That one was not intentional, but that's okay. At least it took him out. I was trying to do a flip there, and she wouldn't let me.
ヤクザの事務所に女子高生。それ突っ込んじゃいけないんだよね、一番。治安悪いってレベルじゃねえんだよな、すでに、もうそれは。いや、もうちょい冷静になって考えるとさ、チアガールがここに来てる時点でおかしいんだよな。
Yeah, to a certain extent, there's only so fast you can beat the enemies up, especially if they don't cooperate, right?
A little bit of lag there.
追っかけてきたんだと思うよ。わかんないけど。
There we go.
サイボーグもどうなってんの？
That's one thing we do to kind of counteract that. When we might get hit inside the room will
あ、なる
block.
ほど。今の一個すっ飛ばしたんだね、
Still
助走
go
つけて
inside。the room. So that's one thing we do.
めっちゃヤクザだっ
Very
た。
smart lackey. He's like, this door is super strong. It'll
いやいやいや、
take
警察さ
to
ん
open it open. He's like,
警察さん
Acquired.
very smart lackey.
このドアは爆弾で爆破でもしないと開かないぜと言われたから
We'll
爆
get
弾を
some more
探しに
trash
行っている
zombies.
途中。なるほ
One
ど。
thing I like to find out,
え、ゾンビも出てくるの？
realized earlier is like I mentioned earlier how like we never use weapons.
Now be careful you don't.
And this is one exception because one is they're kind of
バレーボール始まった。
both sides. And I think you save a little bit of time because only take
ハンドボールかな。
and it's kind of fun to throw a volleyball. So that's the one exception we do use a weapon.
ドッジボールか。
Now we got two more
そういえばあ
locked
ったわ。
rooms.
ドッ
Now
ジ
we're
ボール。
coming to the. Can you guess what kind of room this is?
ドッジボールは。
It's the laundry room, where they launder the
あ、
money.
無理だ。
As you see there, we got
や
all
っ
the
ぱりゲームが
statues.
違う。そして国家権力がたくさんいる。
Alright.
あ、実績あるんだ。2P キャッチボール。
Careful about my health here.
あー、なるほど。あ、オールボスシーズンなんだ。
Got that gas.
あー、そういえば国尾くんドッジボールかハンドボールとかなんか、
Instead of doing damage.
その辺となんか、
Yep, it's, and
こぼしちゃ
sometimes
った。
these cops really like
で
to
も
throw
ドッジ
the
ボールは
tear
聞いた
gas
ことある
around.
かもしれない。謎のイヤリングって、ああ、そうか。収集要素やってたもんね、それ。
I was trying to avoid the gas. There we go. One more explosive. This will be our last locked room too.
Another explosive. Let's go. But I've never been in a
It's out of the way.
Kyoko, but fine.
なかなかに攻撃が痛い。確かに
Oh。no. There we go.
Nice.
Thank you.
That's what optimal looks like, right there.
Yep. Exactly.
And it's up to the enemies whether or not they cooperate.
Right. And if I press the right button, then I did a punch there I wasn't trying to do.
金戦場。お、レベル上がったね。
Oh, that is it. Okay. For a moment there, I'm like, I thought that was it. I thought I saw one more enemy. Oh, there we go. See, there's the getting hit by the enemies when you try to enter the door. And I
現
don't
地
get
は
these
1
trash
時だから、あ
cans.
れかな、みん
So
なご飯
against
食べ
this
に行ってんのか
etiquette
な。
of the room, you know? They put a random trash cans. I think it's just putting them in your way. Alright.
そんなスッと落ちないで。
So now we have
も
all
う
of
4つの爆弾が
explosives.
手に入ったから戻ってる。
I don't want to pick that up.
Objects being annoying.
Yep.
Okay,
Alright.
explosives planted.
So explosives are planted and the lackey
そう
just
だね、お
stands
腹すいた
there
ね。
and, yeah.
ああ、ああ、ああ。
Again, very smart lackey.
あのヤクザはどうなったんだろ
And here's the last boss of the game, Sabuko, and she is the daughter of Sabu. Because Sabu
う。だ
is
ね、もう、
in jail.
飯テロされたらやばい時間だもんね。娘のサブコさん。
There we go. In between the phases, they sent out some minions, which I think is kind of ironic because if you watch the cutscene, she's like, "I don't
名
need
付け
no
が
minions." But then she
安
starts
直すぎない
Only when you start losing. You
Yeah.
develop the strat.
running. What's funny is if I don't kill them in time, she'll just kill them anyway. Which might happen here. Yep, there we go. There we go, one cycle.
「人がピストルだったからまだ優しい」
That went well. I hate when she does
Ooh.
this, because she'll summon them right underneath you. There we go.
Hey.
And that is, you think is the end?
But
No, one more part.
ワンモアパート。
the ultimate strat, adding an extra bar to your health.
Yep. Another
もう
nice
一回遊べるドー
pocket
ン。
intermission there.
確かに意外とはめれるの強いな。あ、でも意外と痛いね。痛い。
Not cooperating.
Ah, missed it. There we go. Now that would be the end of the game if we didn't fulfill our
あの無
incentive.
敵ずるいな。
But we're going to skip to the scenes and then we're going to go and do the secret bosses. We fulfilled the incentive. So thank you again for the donations.
Thank you
Woo!
guys.
So basically, if you let this go on, they fall into the sauna and you find out the boys weren't kidnapped. And they're like, who are these girls? And so if you play the game, that seems kind of confusing because they risked their lives. You know, they thought their boyfriends were kidnapped. But that's where the secret boss comes in.
国を取
It
引が
changes. Okay, here.
プレイヤーブルとして解放されたのかな。
And I
ああ、解放されてる。
Oh,
I
no.
made that mistake earlier. You can play any character, even if you play single player. And I didn't press. I needed to press twice to the right, not once. And I gotta be careful there because if I just pressed A right away, that would take us to New Game Plus, and we definitely don't want that. So
あ、
now
そっか、
we
両
go
脇に
back up in the tower.
増えるから、
We still have to skip this guy.
さっきまで一回右を押すだけで、ミサコ選べてたけど、その癖で選んだらミスったみたいな感じかな。裏ボス。
Oh, jumped there earlier, I would have been too low. Now, before we go inside, we have a couple accessories to equip.
クリア後に手に入るイヤリングと、ま
Now
あ
we get to do the secret
銅
boss.
像っていうの
And
か
who is
ね
it?、
胸の像っていうの
That's
か、
Hasabe Mame, the rival girls.
なんかす
Well, look
っ
who
ごいなんか今、
So
ムー
we
ビー
get
入っ
to
た
fight
な。
them now as a pair.
time to kill. You bet.
長谷部マミ。散々私たちこそが国を取引の彼女だと言ってきた二人。
The first cycle there. Now, most of the attacks are relatively easy to avoid, but you kind of notice that the attacks that they do are the same ones as Kyoko and Hasabe do, or Kaikyo and Misako do, sorry.
熱血物語での国を取引の彼女。なるほ
And
ど。
if you do let them, jeez,
あ
like that. And actually meant to go to continue, and I've actually haven't lost to them in a while. That's if you let that hit them really hard, like full on, and I can take a lot of damage out still.
One more try.
I got this.
16ビット機で一回彼女になっただけ。
Oh, I don't want. Make sure these are still equipped.
このゲームでも国を取引の彼
And
女。
also, I forgot you can
So
actually change
now.
the accessories once the boss starts.
アイスクライマーじゃん。
Well, well, look who it is.
やめろ、一瞬想像できちゃったから。
Time to kill. You bet.
All right.
So like, you unlock a couple of accessories throughout the run. Only a couple of them are useful. The ones we use are the ones that give you dexterity, which makes you move faster.
主人公側
Two
も
that give
見
you a
ているし。
5% damage boost when fighting a certain either female or
確かに。
male enemies.
うん、なかなか痛いね。
Okay.
It's okay, you bought lots of those on you.
Yeah.
回復アイテム使用したね。
All right. There we go. I got this. Okay.
なかなか痛いな、それ。ただヒットしてんのそれ。もしかして。これやって毎回
All right.
ひよってるのマジで笑う。
Now, in the next phase, basically, this ball will run around. We can run
何それ
to avoid the little hearts that come out. And just gotta jump occasionally.
Easy, not even close.
Not sure there's a way to avoid that yet, because I've actually been doing this boss not that long, so and not many people have been doing this boss that long either, so it's kind of relatively new to people speedrunning it.
Generally, the category for new game is to do up to Sabuko.
Yep.
As soon
いや
as
ー、
you
今の
hit the
と。
last hit, that's the end of the run. But this is a boss that you can do, so this is generally new stuff.
なかなか痛いね。うーわ、あっぶな。
Got that just in time, because I think I would have died again.
あの多段ずる。うーわ。
You're fine, you got this. Look at that.
Yep. All right, one more phase.
Of course.
One more phase.
Yep, just like the regular end
Good, no?
boss.
あ、来るんだ。
And, yep, we killed one, and then the other one, basically one becomes invulnerable, and we just gotta take out the
いや、なんか
the ghost here. Oh, is it? attack Mommy here, but it doesn't do any damage. You can knock her down. That's all I'll do though.
うお。
One more hit here. Basically, when I hit her here, that's time.
I'm
はーい。グッドゲームでーす。
So a little interest there. If you play multiplayer, whenever your guys goes down, the little ghost comes up. You stomp them back into the ground, they'll come back up.
ああ、そうなんだ。
So
ああ、だから楽しいよ、ずっと。やってたんだ。
We got time just for a few quick.
Okay. Basically, I can skip to the end here. Basically, they're like, they barely remember you. You're in a 16. No.
怪我の仕方が痛々しい。昔のドラえもん
So
を思い
yeah,
出す
that's
な
why。you don't remember them. Now let's gonna because it's still we got a couple minutes. We'll show the little quick ending. It's a little bit better of an ending. It'll take about a minute.
This was a bad idea, wasn't it? Not our smartest plan. Maybe if we twist our bodies just as we land, we can. Hey, we're not dead. No, but we're gonna be sore tomorrow. I wonder what happened to Hasabe and. What is it, Kyoko?
Oh man, you were right, Ricky. The trip
見せられないよ。
was just what we needed. I agree, Kunio. It is relaxing. Huh? Look away! Spas for men only.
Kunio! You big dummy, we've been looking all over for you. We thought you
国を怒られててくさ。
Kidnapped?
力も怒られて。
Stiff. What made them think that?
あ
So
ら
a little bit of an ending here.
Come on, let's get out of here.
That makes a good ending.
Starving. Let's get a Merv burger. You girls want to join us?
Oh, it's a little bit good ending.
it's the good ending.
All right, thank you so much for watching, you guys. It was great run. I got to show off this wonderful game. I want to say thanks to Capitano here for helping commentate, and thank you to the River City Girls speedrunning community.
日本版でのボイスは英語なんだ。
Jolton,
ほ
David,
ーん。
David Gore. Sorry, I'm messing up your name. It's a great community, and looking forward to doing this more and getting this done more. So thank you so much for watching, you
Thank you,
guys.
guys.
It's been fun.
なかなかに
All
楽
right.
しかった。
Thank you very much for that run. Next up, we have Jack 2. And just want to do a quick shout out. So we have Way Forward in our Twitch chat right now, giving us nice little tidbits on the game. Thanks for joining and watching from, I believe it was Adam from Way Forward. And we will have Mighty Switch Force tomorrow too. That's also from Way Forward. Great devs, great games.
なかなかに面
Stay
白か
tuned
っ
for Jack
た
2.
ね。なるほど。はい。というわけで、熱血告白2億外伝リバーシティガールズ。解説はいませんでしたが、私がダラダラ喋ってただけでしたが、楽しんでいただけたらなら幸いです。はい、では、続いてのゲームの準備の方ありますので、ここで一旦失礼いたします。